Hi guys, today we're going to talk about a New Zealand-American World War II action horror film called Shadow in the Cloud. Before we start, be aware there are spoilers. Our story begins with Maude Garrett breaking off a lock off a box to take out a gun. Then she starts typing a letter on an old typewriter. We see her with her left arm in a sling and carrying a large leather case onto an airfield somewhere in New Zealand during the Second World War. She opens the side door of a bomber aircraft and climbs in. A man named Tommy Dorn says hello to her, but another man named Terrence Taggart tells her to get off the plane. The pilot, Captain John Reeves, wants to know what's going on. Taggart tells her he'll take care of the leather case, and she tells him to take good care of it because it's fragile. As she climbs down into the plane's ball turret, they take off. After a short while, Garrett puts on the headset and listens to the rude conversation the crew is having about her. Then, to the crew's surprise, she starts speaking over the radio and makes it clear that she was listening to them the whole time. Then they introduce themselves to her. She tells them that she's a flight officer and she was given last-minute instructions for this assignment. She tells them that she's also a flight mechanic and a pilot. As the plane is climbing, the captain tells them to cut the chatter while they are climbing through the rough storm. Between some lightning flashes, Garrett sees something on one of the wings, some sort of creature. The captain thinks she may be feeling claustrophobic being stuck in the ball turret. He tells her to come up out of the turret, but when she tries to open the hatch, one of the handles breaks off. The guys try to open the hatch from above, but it seems to be jammed. The captain tells the men to leave the hatch and let her cool down for a while. Shortly thereafter, they cut the radio so she can't talk to them any longer. Idiots. Now we see Garrett remove the sling and check the pistol that she has been hiding in there. So it would seem that her left arm is actually not injured at all. As she sits there quietly, she sees a Japanese aircraft flying through the clouds nearby. She grabs the radio headset and tries to notify the captain, but the hatch behind her opens, and a strange creature starts attacking her. She pushes it back and quickly closes the hatch, but she can't lock it, so she puts her finger through the hole. She grabs her gun but then drops it and bullets fall out of the chamber. She manages to get one bullet into the gun and shoots at the creature outside the hatch. Garrett finds a bolt to lock the hatch, but her finger is broken. She watches the creature move away underneath the aircraft. With great effort, she straightens her finger and ties it up as best she can with a piece of her sling to try stop the bleeding. Garrett hears chatter on the radio and puts on the headset. The captain asks her if she has fired a gun, but she denies it. She tells him he's hearing things. She tells him her leather bag is her top priority on the plane. Taggart tells the captain that they've heard back from Auckland radio control stating that there is no Maude Garrett among their personnel. Tells the captain that a Japanese fighter plane is in close proximity. Beckett calls the captain about some sort of large rat outside. Captain dismisses the call and asks Garrett what's in the leather bag. She tells him it's confidential, and if they open it, they'll all face a court-martial. He assures her that it won't be opened. Garrett asks Beckett where he saw the rat. Just then, she sees the Japanese aircraft flying towards them from below. She asks the captain for permission to fire on the enemy aircraft. He doesn't believe her, and doubts that she even knows how to use a gun. Garrett loads the gun at the same time as the Japanese aircraft starts firing at them. She lets loose with the turret gun and shoots the enemy plane through the wings, and it goes into a dive, leaving a trail of smoke behind. Now they hear her voice, which no longer sounds like an English accent, but more like an American accent. The captain keeps interrogating her in case she is an enemy agent. She assures him that she is not the enemy and that her maiden name is Garrett. Just then a call comes over that Engine 3 is in trouble. As Garrett looks out the window, she sees the creature again climbing out from inside the wing. She tries to aim the turret gun at it, but they're stuck. The creature sees her and climbs across the turret and looks straight at her through the window. Garrett reaches for her gun when she sees its tail coming inside. She kicks at the tail with her boot, then calls the captain and tells him what she has seen, but he thinks she is making it up. But before she can shoot it, it climbs back to the wing and starts pulling pieces out and dropping them. Suddenly, the plane starts losing control of the instruments and hydraulics. The crew starts arguing about the creature. Some say they have seen it and some haven't. They think Garrett's leather case is a mind control device and they want to open it despite what Garrett tells them. The captain tells Quaid to open the package, but he refuses. The captain tells one of the crew named Bradley Finch to take the leather case from Quaid, but Quaid pulls a gun and the two of them struggle over the case. Finch grabs the case and a moment later we hear the sound of a baby. Quaid asks Finch for the baby. He tells Finch to give him back his baby. They now realize that Quaid is the baby's father. The captain announces that they can't continue, so they will return to base. Garrett starts telling the captain how she got married too young, and how her husband would get drunk and beat her up, so she joined the Air Force to get away from him. When she met Quaid, she didn't think she would get pregnant, but it was too late. Quaid left her when he found out that she was married, but he didn't know she was pregnant. Her husband had found out and arrived at the base ready to kill her, so she left with the baby to get away from him. Suddenly, 3 enemy aircraft approach the plane. Finch comes on the radio and says that Reeves is gone. Then he says that the baby is gone. Garrett screams at the thought of losing her baby. Garrett looks out to where she saw the creature earlier and sees it's carrying the leather case with her baby inside. Just then, the captain says the enemies are about to attack. As they start firing, Garrett leans out of the turret and starts shooting at the creature. Then it disappears back into the wing, but the leather case is just hanging there, close to falling. As the enemy planes come at them again, Garrett climbs out of the turret and slowly makes her way towards the leather case. As she gets close, she pulls a piece of pipe free from the plane just as they are attacked again, and the turret is shot away from the plane completely. Garrett hangs by her legs and reaches for the case just as it falls and catches it with the pipe. She swings the case up into the opening and then climbs up into the wing. When she opens the case, she finds that the baby is okay. Once again, she hangs upside down under the plane and makes her way back up into the hole where the turret once was. After placing the case up in the plane, she slips and hangs by one hand and then falls. As she's falling, the force of the enemy plane exploding in mid-air blasts her upward and back into the plane. When she looks up, she sees Dorn standing there in disbelief at what just happened. An enemy shot comes through the plane, killing him instantly. Garrett picks up the case and walks down to Beckel at the rear gun turret. She tells him to keep shooting at the enemy planes. Then she turns to walk up the front of the plane. Now we see Taggart fighting the creature. The creature reaches out and grabs the case, but Taggart grabs the case and pushes it back to Garrett before he falls backwards through the open doors to his death. As Garrett looks down through the doors, she sees the creature trying to climb back inside, hanging on by its tail. She finds something sharp and cuts its tail. But as it falls, its wings open and it starts gliding beneath the plane. She tries to drop boxes on it, but it glides away. Garrett makes her way to the cockpit and tells the captain and Williams, the co-pilot, to dump the fuel and the cargo, but Williams doesn't want to dump the cargo. At that moment, an enemy plane comes straight for them and she drops to the floor. Garrett tells him he'll have to land the plane. As Garrett climbs back, she sees Finch shooting and he hits one of the planes. He is so surprised to see Garrett. She tells him they have to go down. She tells Finch the captain is dead. A moment later, she is thrown to the floor and Finch is shot dead. As Garrett looks up, she sees Quaid reaching down to her. She can't believe he's still alive. They hear a noise and see the creature attacking Beckel near the back. Quaid takes the baby and Garrett goes to help Beckel. She calls to the creature. Then Beckel starts shooting at it in Garrett's direction. As it comes close to Garrett, she shoots it in the chest and it falls out of the side door towards the ground below. Just then, the last remaining enemy plane come towards them. Garrett grabs the rear turret gun and shoots at the plane, hitting it, and it explodes just behind them. Garrett realizes their plane is starting to die, but it is too close to the ground. She runs to the front to help Williams. They work together and roll the aircraft 180 degrees to keep the nose up. They cut the last 2 engines and roll it back over again to come in on flat ground. Way too fast, but they manage to get it down without any further loss of life. Garrett sits there having an image of Quaid laying dead and the baby's case laying squashed. But then she looks around and sees that Quaid and the baby are all right. Beckel comes through from the back and is so happy to see that the others are alive. Garrett sees a fire near the oxygen tank and tells them that they have to get out before the plane explodes. They get about 10 meters from the plane before it explodes. Beckel is looking around for the enemy planes, but Quaid tells him that they got them all. Garrett walks over to Quaid, looking at the leather case in fear. Quaid opens the case and sees that the baby is okay. Beckel asks her what she's going to do now because she will be in trouble, but Willems said she won't be in trouble because she was being transferred and they lost her paperwork. In other words, Williams will cover for her so she won't get into trouble. Quaid gets down on one knee and was about to propose marriage to her when suddenly the creature appears and pushes Quaid over, then tries to get away with the case, but no way is Garrett letting that happen. She goes after it, hitting the creature with a piece of wood, then gives the baby back to Quaid. She turns and walks back to the creature with a determined look in her eyes and starts beating it up, then finally finishing it off with its own claw. As she walks back to Quaid, the baby is crying because of hunger. She starts feeding the baby in peace, knowing that the creature is no longer after them and that they are safe. If you want to see more videos like this, you'll be glad to know that I upload a lot, so make sure to stop by again. I'd appreciate if you could take a moment out of your day to like and subscribe too. And don't be shy to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. I'd love to hear what you thought about the movie, and don't forget to turn on the notifications so that you don't miss an upload. Please know that your support is greatly appreciated. Take care, guys. Much love to you all.